Hello and welcome to Alive with Amanda. Today we're going to be talking about financial planning for your private practice. Now, this is something we have certainly talked about before. And when I was thinking about this topic, I'm like, there are so many directions that we can go in. And so I'm going to break it down into a couple of different parts. And so hopefully you follow me and hopefully this is helpful to you in financial planning for your practice. So I think it's really important that you do some sense of financial planning. I wish I had done this a little earlier in my practice. I did it at some level, but I really didn't plan. I sort of like had goals, right? Like these big lofty goals, and it wasn't really detailed. And I think getting detailed with your financial planning is really important. I absolutely recommend that you do two things for your practice. One, you project out your revenue, and two, you make a budget. You project out your expenses. I think it's really, really important to do for the year so you can understand what your goals are going to be for the year. Whether you're going to put more money into training, you're going to put money into marketing, you're going to put time and effort into marketing, or if you need to do something else like maybe cut expenses or pay down if you have a loan or something. So you can really create your goals for the year. And so you can this is where it gets complicated because if you're a solo practitioner, it looks a little different if you're a group practitioner, but it's basically all the same. You're going to look at roughly how much you charge per session on average. Some people like our private pay, they charge 150 and it's everybody pays 150 and that's what it is. Some people accept insurance and there's variances. And so I want you to take the number of your average, the average amount people pay you. And then I want you to write down and multiply that by how many sessions you plan to have, would like to have, are estimated to have. Make that number either, like, yes, I'm going to hit it out of the park. You can make it conservative. I run conservative numbers. Why? Because I plan my finances conservatively so we can make sure that we're always hitting our mark. But there is this idea of creating lofty goals too, depending on where you're at in your practice. And that formula goes for group practices or solo practices. So if you are a solo practitioner, you charge 150, we'll just make it really easy, and you want to see 20 people a week for 80 people a month, you can do the math. That's $10,000 a month. It's $12,000 a month. And so you can do the math really quick on that. You make $12,000 a month and you project that income all the way out. Now, the way that you can do this is, okay, in July, you're going to take 2 weeks off so you can pull off, you're not going to see 80 people, you're going to see 40 people. And in November, we know a bunch of people cancel. So maybe you'll only see 70 people and not 80. And then in December, you're going to take 2 weeks off again. And now it's 40. And now you can project your income out for the entire year based on fluctuations in your schedule. Now, you might not know when you're going to take vacation, but I would definitely recommend that you plug in some vacation time, even if it's not precise. Like, okay, maybe you don't take it in July, but you're going to take it in June, or you take it in August. And so then you have a yearly number of revenue that you make, because if you run your numbers month to month, you're going to feel those fluctuations. And it's one of the number one complaints that people have when they're in private practice is that the months fluctuate because they don't plan for the year. They don't look at where their year is going to be and know that August, September, October is feast, November, December can be a little bit of famine, but it all averages itself out. And so create that number. And then now you have your number of how much revenue you're going to make. Then create your budget. How much are you going to pay yourself? How much are your expenses? What's the credit card processing? Do you have a virtual assistant? How much are you going to pay in taxes? How much do you want to put aside for savings? Do you want to put some aside for retirement? That you might have to pull that out to put it into your personal, but you get the idea. Then you can look at, can I afford EMDR training this year? Can I afford to hire that virtual assistant I've been looking at? Or if you're in a group practice, like when does it make sense for me to hire another admin person? If you are in a growth model, those numbers don't have, like, the amount of sessions that you see don't have to be the same. You can really modify those based on what your goals are. So if you are a group practice and you're looking to add another location, add those sessions in so you can prepare for that. That's what we do. That's how we build our budget to make sure we are going to meet our income goals for whatever expenses we have. You can do it either way. You can create your expenses first, then you can create your revenue goals, especially the larger you are, it kind of depends. And then make sure those two numbers are somewhat similar. You might want to make sure your revenue is higher than your expenses. But if it's not, that can certainly happen. Then you need to do one of two things: either look at increasing your revenue or look at decreasing your expenses. That's the problem every business owner has, right? Like, how do I make more money and how do I reduce my expenses, but still run a high quality business? Like, that's something that I have definitely learned. There is absolutely a fine balance between cutting expenses, making sure that you run a lean business, but at the same time, having high quality staff members, investing in training, investing in the things that matter for your business. And so if you're looking at your numbers, especially for solo practitioners, but even group practices, if your numbers aren't exactly where you want them to be, and you're like, man, like, how am I going to reach those goals? That's where you start your goals. That's where you start looking at what you're going to do for your business. Are you going to run AdWords? Are you going to hire a business coach? Are you going to invest in social media? Are you going to start going to networking events? Where are you going to put your time and money in order to meet those revenue goals? That's really going to be a very important part of this. I'm going to talk to you about savings, but first I want to thank our sponsor, TherapyNotes. If you are looking for an electronic health record that can really help you understand your revenue, help you understand trends, help you create averages for your sessions, help you do note count reports so you can see how many sessions you do every single month, I definitely recommend you check out TherapyNotes. One thing I also love about them is their free customer service. You can pick up the phone, you can call them, you can get guidance. We call TherapyNotes all the time. It's like, oh, call TherapyNotes, call TherapyNotes, call TherapyNotes. They are so helpful. They are so great. So I highly recommend you check out TherapyNotes for your practice, whether you're solo, you're a group practice, you're in person, you're virtual, your private pay insurance. They can help you run your practice in a way that will help you financially plan for your business. So one thing that's going to be really important is that you do create some savings when you're financially planning. I have gone through a variety of different feelings, a variety of different ways of approaching this. And the basic advice for your personal finance is the same for your business finance: is start somewhere and do what you can, because starting now is better than waiting, and putting $1 away is better than putting no dollars away. And having that cushion is going to be extremely helpful. And so absolutely look into creating a savings account for your business. Again, if you can put $5 away, put $5 away. If you can put $5,000 away, put $5,000 away. Create a savings goal for yourself. You are going to need money for a rainy day, if you get sick, if a lot of clients cancel, it becomes the holidays, or conversely, you want to grow, you want to get an office, you want to hire somebody, you need to have money. You have to have some level of liquidity in your business. And so make sure that you are setting aside money for that in order to really plan for that. One other thing I'm going to say really quick is you also want to make sure that you're paying yourself appropriately. None of this matters if you're not making money. Doesn't matter what kind of business you have, how much revenue you're bringing in. You want to make sure that you really prioritize yourself. You make sure that you're paying yourself enough to live your life that you want, and make sure that you design your business that way. So if you've done this exercise and you're not making the money you want, take a look at how you can do that. Cut your expenses, increase your revenue, look at the business structure that you have, and find a way that you can really be happy in your private practice. Happy financial planning, everybody. I'll see you soon. Bye.